Well, you heard the accusation there, tactical manoeuvres. This is as accusations fly about what happened there last night with accusations by Pania Newton that police pushed her over as she tried to access or go through a gate. Now, the police say there's misinformation circulating about last night's standoff, the reasons for the increase in officer numbers and whether the protesters were warned that reinforcements would be brought in. Superintendent Jill Rogers has been coordinating the police operation at Ihiumatao. Now, I spoke to her at the county's Manukau police station and I started by asking her if it was a surprise move, as the protesters claim.
Yesterday we were forced to scramble a number of staff in response to information that we received directly from the protest group of their intention to walk down Ihiumatao Quarry Road through the police cordon and retake the land at the Kaitiaki village. Hence we were required to scramble a large number of staff to prevent them from doing that.
And how many extra staff were there, extra police cars and resources? What were the numbers there?
There was a significant amount of extra resource that were required to come in. They were taken from across Tamaki Makaurau from their business as usual roles. So it was quite a substantial amount of staff that were required to help the staff that were already there to ensure that it was peaceful and that we were able to make sure that everyone was able to stay safe.
Okay, Pania Newton, who's organising the spokesperson for Seoul, is saying that she was pushed as she was going through a gate. There's an online video of that, although police have denied that it happened. There's a video and it shows a scuffle and it shows some angry reaction to it from some of the protesters. Are the police still denying that took place?
We absolutely refute that allegation. We're aware that there's a number and a quantity of information that's within the social media realm that is incorrect. I remain incredibly proud of the staff and for the way they've conducted themselves over the last 2 weeks. And sometimes what's been quite volatile, testing and trying circumstances, they have remained professional throughout. And we just encourage people that there is a place for protest activity, but it must remain peaceful.
So is Pania Newton lying when she says that she was pushed to the ground by a police person? We
refute the allegation and are aware of some of the misinformation that is circulating within social media.
But there were scuffles there at least. What are you admitting in terms of contact with protesters from police? So
there was a stage there where our lines were forced back. You will see that in the video that has emerged from last night, and we were required to retreat. So my role is to make sure that our staff are operationally safe, and that decision was made last night that we would retreat and allow that access that did occur. Fortunately, we were able to restore calm with the assistance of the protest organisers who were able to ensure that order was restored, and we were able to see that calm sort of returned.
Have police broken trust with the protesters over this in terms of just the numbers that were brought in? They are still saying that they didn't have notice of that. So clearly trust has broken down. Or how much can the police admit to that circumstance?
So our response yesterday was in direct response to the information that we'd received from the protest group that their intention was to return to the Kaitiaki village, which is part of the disputed land, therefore in breach of the court orders that exist. We can't allow people to undertake unlawful activity. Our role there is to ensure that peace is maintained, that the protest can be done lawfully and peacefully, and that's our role there.
Are some of your officers conflicted here? We've seen some beautiful images, one of a police officer playing guitar, singing Waiata with the protesters. Was this also a bit of a reset, a bit of a show of force from the police about how serious this situation is?
Our response last night was in direct response to the information that we received from protest organisers. Our staff do have opinions about this matter, and I remain incredibly proud of the way they've conducted themselves. They've remained incredibly professional. It's not an easy environment that they're policing out there. They've been faced with taunts, being spat at, being pushed day after day, and the way they've conducted themselves is an absolute tribute to them.
So at its height last night, what were the numbers of police on the site?
At the height last night, we did scramble a lot of resource from across Tamaki Makaurau. Actual numbers I'm not going into because it's an operational decision for us to maintain, but we did scramble people from a whole range of duties that weren't associated with the protest activity.
Superintendent Jill Rogers there from Counties Manukau. She's the district commander. She's been out there, she says, every day at Iho Mātau. She absolutely refutes, that's what her words were, absolutely refutes those accusations put forward by Pania Newton and the protesters.